As with any good training, we're going to start by warming up the joints. We're first going to start with the neck, but we're going to do it in a little bit of a specific way. You're going to clench your fists and press your hands down towards the floor to create some depression in your shoulders. Then you're going to slowly bring your chin to your chest, to your shoulder, to the ceiling, to the opposite shoulder, and back through to your chest. The resistance you're creating with your shoulders in that fist position should make it easy to find a nice stretch. We're going to do neck circles now in a different direction. You're going to extend the chin forward and then pull it back in. Extend your chin forward and pull it back in. Notice the rest of my body is not moving so much. I'm really focused on the neck. My knees are slightly bent, tailbone is tucked. Now reverse the circle, chin towards your chest, and then pull it back. Try to give yourself a double chin each time you pull your chin back towards your body. Now we're going to wake up the shoulders just with some simple shoulder circles. Try to keep your hips and your knees facing forward as your arm circles back. I chose to start with my right arm first, 5 circles back, and then 5 circles forward. Really keep the arms straight, the fingers stretched up towards the ceiling, and make big circles. Again, trying to just move the shoulder and keep the knees and the hips squared. So slight knee bend, a little bit of a pelvic tilt like you're trying to squeeze the butt, and then focusing on that movement coming from the shoulder. 5 back and 5 forward. Let's hop down in the squat and wake up the spine a little bit. If you can't sit in this squat, put something underneath your heels so that you're a bit more comfortable. Build a tower with your hands, either 2 fists, maybe 2 pinkies, 2 thumbs, and 2 fists. Build a little tower so that you can touch your head to something. For me, it's a flat palm and a fist with my thumb extended. You're going to tap the top of your head to the top of your tower about 10 times. Really getting a nice rounding of the spine. And as you bring your head towards your tower, your hands try to keep your butt towards the floor. On your last one, you're going to hold it for 10 seconds. Breathe deep, sink the hips to the floor. Really get that nice rounding of your spine. Now we're going to wake up the hamstrings with a little forward fold. You're actually going to lean forward and then bounce. Try to push your fingers away from the floor, creating a nice active stretch in the hamstring. If you can't touch the floor, reach for your shin or even your knee. And then finish with a nice slow spinal curl, shake it off, and let's get ready to start our strength training. Exercise number 1 is going to be the walking lunges. Great simple exercise if you're just starting out with strength training. You're going to place your hands on your hips and in a lunging position, step forward 1 foot at a time. Make sure you have a nice flat lower back and you're really pushing off that front leg. We're going to do 8 forward and 8 back, or if you have the space to do all 16 in a row, you can. Push that front foot away from the floor, hands on the hips, nice flat lower back, chest is up. Exercise number 2, the jumping squat. This is going to get those legs burning and the heart rate up. You're going to squat and jump. 4, 5, sit nice and low. Really use your feet, push the floor away. Going for 10. Excellent. Exercise number 3, calf raises. Can't forget about those little guys. If you're having trouble balancing, grabbing a pole might be helpful. Then you're simply going to lift your heel off the floor. We're going to do 8 on each leg. If you have one leg that's weaker than the other, or maybe an ankle that's tighter or recovering from an injury, it would be really wise to start on your weaker or injured side first. And 8 each leg, 6, 7, 8. Good. Let's move down to the floor for some glute bridges. You're going to lie flat on your back with your heels about hip-width distance apart. Make sure you push your lower back into the ground before you lift up your hips. You're going to repeat this movement, pushing your heels down, rolling your lower back to the floor, and lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. You should feel a nice burning sensation in your butt. If it's too easy, go ahead and try a single leg glute bridge. Make sure you're not pushing your belly button to the ceiling, but really keeping a nice flat lower back, as if you're tucking your belly button in. Make sure you're working your butt muscles and not overworking your lower back muscles. Notice if one side feels stronger than the other. It's always going to be the case, but if it's a really big difference, that might be something that you want to take note of. Last exercise, we're going to work the hamstrings and again that balance a little bit with single leg deadlifts. Hands on the hips, back leg comes up, and you want to keep your back, especially your upper back, as straight as possible. With your hands on your hips, you can tell yourself that you want to touch your elbows together. That should help keep you straight. The balance is not an easy thing, so feel free to bend that standing leg and use your strength to keep your balance. You should feel a nice stretch in the back of the leg, but also hamstring working on the strength department. 8 one side, and then switch. It's very helpful if you have a mirror here so you can see from a side angle what's going on. If your body looks like mine in this video, straight, flat back. And that's it. Head to the finishing page of this film to see a written routine for these 5 exercises. Thanks for joining.